It's time for another riveting episode of Playing Stupid Games. How long are we supposed to wait?
Okay. This is Doubledee Mother with Graduate News, and I am out on location, but you blow my mind.
Hey, players. Welcome to Tea Time with Doubledee. Of course, I am Doubledee Mother from TikTok, and I am so excited to have you all here with me tonight where we can sip some tea and have a good time. You guys, it's been a very riveting day. We've had a lot of things going on today, a lot of things you may know about and a lot of things you may not know about. So I'm just here to run down the news, and I'm going to do this quick, fast, and in a hurry. So let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about is President Biden and Madam Vice President Kamala Harris making it out to commemorate the 31st anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. They had a gathering in the Rose Garden at the White House, and Vice President Kamala Harris, she spoke first, and then they had this little young girl there, and she was actually disabled. She was in a wheelchair. She wasn't a little girl. I believe she was about 19 or so. She had been in a car accident and she was disabled because of it. And she spoke about how the Americans with Disabilities Act actually helped her because it enabled her mother to be able to stay home with her and take care of her and be her full-time caregiver while she recovers. So she was very thankful for the America with Disabilities Act. And then President Biden got up and spoke, and he spoke about COVID, and he said something very interesting, and I want you guys to check it out.
Many Americans who seemingly recover from the virus still face lingering challenges like breathing problems, brain fog, chronic pain, and fatigue. These conditions can sometimes rise to the level of a disability. So we're bringing agencies together to make sure Americans with long COVID who have a disability have access to the rights and resources that are due under the disability law, which includes accommodations and services in the workplace, in school, and our healthcare system.
Yeah. So he basically stated that they're going to have resources, rights and resources for people who become disabled because of COVID. I know that there are a lot of people out here who are suffering from the long-term effects of COVID. I had COVID, and I sometimes forget things, and I believe I don't know if that's from old age or from COVID, but I know I do suffer from some headaches, and I never had headaches before, so I definitely know that's from COVID, but that's not a disability. But there are people out there that are far more less fortunate than I was. They have to wear oxygen, have oxygen tanks now. They have developed asthma. They have developed severe migraines where they can't even move around, things like that. So I think that is definitely a good thing that President Biden and his administration will be implementing something like that to benefit the people who unfortunately become disabled because of COVID. So I think that's a great thing. He also signed a proclamation today commemorating the Americas with Disabilities Act. So it was a good day in the Rose Garden. President Biden had some very informative things to say, and so did Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. So it was a good day for them as far as that was concerned. But we flip over to the Republican side, and we have Moscow Mitch on the House floor wanting to blame President Biden for the dip in people getting vaccinated. And I want you to check this bullshit out.
And after the Biden administration was very eager to claim ownership and spike the football on the vaccination trajectory, which they largely inherited from Republican leadership, we've now seen vaccination rates in many places plateau on what this White House has been insisting is their watch. This turn toward pessimism is especially stunning and especially sad because President Biden took office with wind at his back. Things were set up for a roaring success like no other presidential transition in recent memory.
Child, well, Moscow, you know what? First of all, I don't even like to hear Moscow Mitch talk because honestly, he always sounds like he's holding back a bunch of slobber and spit that he doesn't want to dribble down onto his loose leaf paper that is laid out there so he can slowly peel back the layers of his bullshit speech. I hate when he gets up there, but you know what? It is what it is. So the fact that he says that President Biden was set up for success like no other president before is a freaking lie, because we all know that Frumpy Dump was set up for success by President Obama. Let's just be honest. He inherited a roaring economy that he drove into the ground because he did not handle COVID correctly. Let's just get that bullshit out the way. And then as far as President Biden inheriting success, no, he did not. Again, I will say, Frumpy Dump and his administration had no clear plan on how they were going to distribute the vaccine. In fact, if we go back to December of 2020, Frumpy Dump's administration had a goal of administering, I believe it was 20 million shots of the vaccine. They didn't get anywhere near that because they had so many hiccups in getting the vaccine from place to place. Y'all remember when a whole truck of the vaccine got ruined? It was just a hot boo-boo shitty mess when he was trying to run this. He had no clear plan. The only thing he wanted to do was to pay for the vaccine. He didn't have a hand in developing it. He wasn't in the lab thinking of the equations or anything like that, because if he was, nobody would be taking the vaccine. That's 100% sure. But he had no hand in making it, and his Operation Warp Speed had absolutely no plan on how they were going to distribute the vaccine. President Biden, and I have to give President Biden credit where credit is due. President Biden really did, and his administration really did hit the ground running as far as COVID is concerned. They developed the American Rescue Plan. They came in with an actual framework for the American Rescue Plan. They got checks out to people. They enhanced unemployment. They got out more PPP loans. They had developed all these centers to get the COVID vaccine, get shots in people's arms. We can't help it that we have so much misinformation out on all these social media platforms, and we have the biggest of them all, which is Fox News, that is spilling all of this misinformation out. And these people do not want to get vaccinated because of the information that they have received. They don't want to talk to their doctors, but let's just be 100% honest there. Even if they speak to their doctors, how many times have we seen that these doctors are going around spreading misinformation too? That can be the case, sometimes. I'm not saying it's all the time, but that can be the case. So this is not President Biden's fault that people are not getting vaccinated. Frumpy Dump could have went ahead and got his shot before he left office to show his taint sniffers that he was trusting the vaccine. But no, he actually chose to keep that within himself, tried to do it under the cloak of darkness, and now his people don't trust the vaccine. And honestly, I don't believe that Frumpy Dump has enough power to make them trust the vaccine, because some of them are so drunk off the cute Kool-Aid that they just don't want to take it. So this isn't President Biden's fault. I really don't know what he's going to do to be able to get people to get vaccinated from this point on. I mean, people dying is obviously not doing it, because we have people dying every day from misinformation regarding the vaccine, and people don't give a damn. They still want to take their chances. So I don't really know what's going to happen. But for Moscow Mitch to stand his sloppy mouth self up there and call President Biden the problem and make it seem like he didn't do his job, that's a bunch of malarkey, bunch of bullshit. And I don't agree with that at all. Okay. And speaking of COVID cases, COVID cases are rising so bad. They're up by 40%. And this is based on 3 states: Florida, Missouri, and of course, Texas. Florida and Texas had to be in that shit somewhere. these states account for 40% of the COVID cases being up. So much so that in Florida, in Orange County, the Florida mayor, Jerry Demings, has actually declared a crisis in that area as far as the number of COVID cases. He said that there are 1,000 new positive cases a day in just that county alone. I mean, I have nothing. I have nothing for that. That is completely ridiculous because people do not want to take the vaccine. They're not social distancing. They just don't want to do anything. So you can't save, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them think. That's 100% sure. So we'll switch gears here. I will again, though, encourage you to get the COVID vaccine. If you have not gotten the COVID vaccine, I will also encourage you to wear your mask and social distance when possible. The next thing that I want to talk about is Frito-Lay. There has been a 19-day strike at Frito-Lay. They had people on an 84-hour work week. Those people were not even having a day off, and they were in a union. This is in Kansas. Okay? Kansas City. These people were working 84 hours a week, not getting the day off. And they were having 12-hour shifts, not even 8 hours between the next time they had to come in. And so they did a 19-day strike, and they're supposed to be going back to work this week. I want you guys to check this out.
After 20 days, the Frito-Lay Kansas workers' strike is over. It was the first strike at the Topeka plant in its decades of operation. Hundreds of Frito-Lay employees at the plant ratified a revised contract over the weekend addressing what the union leaders described as a diminished quality of life stemming from poor work conditions, including long hours, forced overtime, and stagnating wages. The contract will provide workers with a guaranteed day off each work week and eliminate so-called suicide shifts, where workers put in 8-hour days plus 4 hours of overtime before returning for their next shift. Frito-Lay said the union representing the workers will have additional opportunities for input on staffing and overtime. The revised contract also offers 4% wage increases to employees in all job classifications over the 2-year contract.
And they're in the union, child. And that's what the contract that they negotiated. I don't understand that, but I digress. So they're now going to have a mandatory 1 day off, and they negotiated some higher wages, some raises, and different things. So, shout out to them for the 19-day strike that they did, because it actually worked, and they're supposed to be going out back to work this week. So the biggest story of the night, you guys, I've been telling y'all that the select committee, the first hearing with the police, with the select committee, the first hearing was supposed to be on the 28th. Well, Tiffy Whiffy got her days wrong, honey. They're actually supposed to be tomorrow on Tuesday. I thought that was the 28th. Please charge it to my mind and not my heart. So yeah, they're supposed to have their first hearing tomorrow. My ass gonna be watching, and I'll probably be sitting back here tomorrow night to give you guys a rundown of whatever I don't give a rundown on during the day. But there was some malarkey that went on regarding this. Child, Kevin McCarthy has been losing his rabbit ass mind, y'all. He's been going around talking shit about people. He's called Liz Cheney a Pelosi Republican. And I want you to check this out. This was Liz Cheney's response. I hope y'all can hear it.
Pelosi Republican?
Well, look, we're about this very serious business here. We have important work to do, and I think that's pretty childish.
So she called his ass childish, honey. Yes, Kevin McCarthy is childish, and I agree with Liz Cheney wholeheartedly. So we do know that Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger is going to be the two Republicans that are going to serve on the panel. We have Benny Thompson as the chair tomorrow, so this is going to be a very good hearing. But Kevin McCarthy, he tried his hardest today, honey, to try to get the Republicans that he wanted. He tried to get those Republicans seated today by issuing a resolution and forcing a vote on the House floor on this resolution, honey. Child, it was a hot boo-boo shit mess, and everybody was scrambling because they wasn't expecting him to do this. So Kevin McCarthy definitely pulled a fast one. So in this resolution, I have a copy of it here, you guys. The resolution, I can't show it to you all because I don't know how to do that yet. So he says on June 30th, the House voted to establish a select committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol. The speaker shall appoint 13 members of the select committee who shall be appointed after consultation with the minority leader. On June 30th, Speaker Pelosi stated that we believe we believe that Congress must be in spirit of bipartisanship and patriotism and establish this commission. So then he goes on to say that Speaker Pelosi had her own press conference and acknowledged an unprecedented decision to reject two of minority leaders' nominees. So he introduced this resolution, whereas Speaker Pelosi's refusal to seat all 5 Republicans directly harms the legitimacy, credibility, and integrity of the proceedings of the Select Committee. And he says he condemns the refusal of the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, to seat all 5 Republican members. So he is now forcing a vote for everyone to vote on this, and he wants those Republicans seated. Well, honey, they voted on it. 216 Democrats. Okay, so 197 Republicans voted for it, and 216 Democrats voted against it. So yeah. It didn't work. His bullshit didn't work, so they will not be seated. I don't know why he even wasted his time with that bullshit, because of the fact that he knew that it wouldn't work. Child, that was a hot bullshitty mess. He was standing up there looking like a damn fool, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? Is he really going to do this? Oh yeah, he's going to do this. So that didn't happen. So tomorrow they'll have the Republicans there were 2 Republicans and the rest will be Democrat. I don't know if Nancy Pelosi will be inviting any more Democrats or Republicans. She hasn't been very clear on that. So the last and final story that I wanted to tell you guys about is a poll was done by this company called Fabrizio Lee and Associates, and they do this testing the favorability of different Republicans and Democrats. So they did one to see who was the GQP's front runners, honey. And y'all not going to believe who's the front runner. No, it's not Moscow Mitch. No, it's not Kevin McCarthy. It's not even Josh Hawley or Fletty Cruz or Musty Marjorie for that fact. Check out who's the GQP's favorite.
The media came out and they were saying that the proof that Joe Biden hasn't lost it, the proof that he isn't riddled with dementia, was that Vladimir Putin said that he seemed very sharp. Can't make this stuff up, folks. I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if it was Donald Trump that Vladimir Putin said that about, it'd be a slightly different response. What do you think, Mercedes? You understand this a little bit, comms, right? Probably a little different.
Yeah, when I saw that shit, I had to clutch my invisible damn pearls. I said, not Frumpy Dump Jr. I said, not Don the Con. Not the drunk. Excuse me, the high. Child, what a disgrace. I just can't take this shit anymore. The Republicans are a complete joke. I was hoping that there was some hope for them some way, somehow. There's not. There's not any hope for them, guys. We are just, child, what a fucking mess. Frumpy Dump Jr. is the favorite of the GQP, right behind Ron DeSantis. You guys, I just don't know anymore. I may be back tomorrow, so I hope you I hope you guys come and join me. This is Double D Bubba. Thank you for joining me with Tea Time. I hope y'all come back, and I really hope y'all enjoyed this episode. And y'all have a pleasant night. Love y'all so much. Thank you. Yay.